Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Ready or not, let's do this. This is a ridiculously early morning webinar to get your day started off right, whether you're ready for it or not. There's a little bit of mindset, a little bit of business sense, something to get your MLM, network marketing, small business, brick and mortar, online or off, up and running like a well-oiled machine. Whether you are a newbie, a seasoned veteran, or somewhere in between, there is something here for you. Welcome. My name is Mina. I'm coming to you from New York City, out in the borough of Queens. I created this webinar to push myself out of my comfort zone and to share with you my experiences growing as an entrepreneur and getting you to grow into success with me. How are you doing today? Today is Friday, January 2nd, 2015. Happy New Year. I hope your New Year was well and safe and you had loads of fun. Now you're ready to start off the new year with a fresh new start. So as it comes with every brand new year, everybody sets resolutions. And what are resolutions? What happens is that people review their habits from the past year and they want to create new and better habits. It could be to exercise more, to smoke less, or to quit smoking altogether, to at least eat one green vegetable a day. Well, when you think about it, you can't really go all cold turkey when you're starting to grow into a brand new habit. You have to start with baby steps. What I know is that people start off with gusto and the gyms are packed to the brims. I'm sure the gyms are packed to the brims right now at 6:30 in the morning because people just want to develop good habits, but they want to do it right away. But developing habits and developing good ones does take a little time, and you have to take it in baby steps, because if you try to do it all cold turkey, that is a recipe for disaster. Because then what usually happens at the start of a brand new year is that especially people will hit the gyms in an effort to get back into shape, in an effort to burn off all those calories ingested from all the yummy foods that we eat during the holiday seasons that we really should not be eating a lot of. And then like during the third week or fourth week into the new month, people start to drop off. But how can you develop habits, good habits, that will stick long term? Well, they do say that it takes 21 days to develop a good habit and about 90 days to cement it into place. So I found this article by John C. Maxwell, who happens to be my favorite mentor, on a habit that you can develop, that you don't have to go cold turkey entirely in, and that could result in long-term practice when you start doing it bit by bit, little by little, each and every day. And that is the habit of giving. Let me look at my notes that I have here. And so this is the one big decision that John Maxwell feels that everybody can do, that everyone needs to make and manage. And it is a habit that is required of a leader. It's a habit that can radically change your life and leadership if you practice it daily. And you can practice this in little baby steps. It doesn't have to be all entirely cold turkey, but little things that you do each and every day by creating your habit of giving is going to change your life radically, okay? So he gives several reasons why you should develop the good habit of giving. And the first is that the habit of giving more than you receive. He talks about the holiday season, Christmas. It's easy to give because it's part of the season. It's a joyous part of the season where you're giving gifts and you're receiving gifts. He talks about not only limiting that to the holiday season, but doing it for the rest of the year. What if you extended your giving to the rest of the year? And this does not mean giving presents. The habit of giving can be giving your time, giving your talents, maybe even giving a gift here and there unexpectedly. But it's just a habit of giving more than you receive, and just extending it from the holiday season into the whole year. Paying for somebody's coffee when you're ahead of the line, paying it forward. That is a little habit that you can practice, and that when you give with a giving heart, you will receive in other ways that you least expected. Another thing that he talks about is that giving acknowledges that others have helped us. And what he says here is that no one succeeds in life on his own. Every one of us has been helped along the way by other people. When we give to others, we acknowledge that by paying it forward. So, of course, up to the point that we are right now is because somebody has helped us along the way. And when we give, we acknowledge that we have been helped earlier. And that is called paying it forward. So you buy a cup of coffee for somebody, means that somebody bought you a cup of coffee. And I know that it has happened for you. You give time to somebody in need because somebody has given you time when you were at a time where perhaps you were sick in bed and somebody came to pay you a visit. And now you're paying that forward. You are giving your time to mentor somebody, or you're giving your time to teach a group of kids after school. That is acknowledging that you've been helped at some point in your life, and now you're paying it forward. All right? When you're spending time with your parents, your elderly parents, even when you're busy in your life, you have a hectic job and you have your own family. But when you take the time out to take your mom to the doctor or take your father out to lunch, you are paying it forward and thanking them for the time they gave you to raise you up. Okay, giving requires us to get beyond ourselves, and that's an interesting one. When we give, we have to purposely think about it and purposely do it when we give. And this, it's easy to just say me, mine, and think all about ourselves. But giving forces us to look away from ourselves and see how we can help others. Zig Ziglar has that famous quote: when you help others get what they want, they will help you. You will get what you want. When you help others succeed, you will succeed. So in order to do that, it requires us to take our eyeballs off of ourselves and focus it on how we can help others, how we can serve others, how we can help them get what they want. And so what John Maxwell says here is that when your mindset is to give more than you take, it forces you to think of others more than yourself. You have to pay attention to others and what they really want. You have to figure out how to give it to them. And these things shift your focus from yourself to others. And this very fact makes you less selfish. So that's a good thing. Giving requires us to get beyond ourselves. And then he also says giving by nature is intentional. Giving is by nature intentional. So he says people rarely give by accident. They have to intentionally want to give. You have to make an effort, and that makes it that gives you more brownie points. You have to make an effort to give. For instance, you see a homeless person on the street who's hungry, who's asking for coins or pennies so they can buy a cup of coffee, and you go out and you buy a cup of coffee for them, or you go out and you buy them something to eat. That takes effort, because the easy thing is to put on your earphones and your sunglasses and then walk on by and pretend that they're not there. But I know that within you, your conscience will not let you do that. So in order to just go out of your way to buy that person a cup of coffee, or to buy that person a sandwich or a combination so they can eat, takes effort. And that is an act of will, as John Maxwell says. And he also says that intentionality grows us and makes us more proactive. Important qualities for everyone, especially leaders. Let me read that to you again. That's really important. Giving is by nature intentional. People rarely give by accident. They must make an effort to give. It is an act of will. That intentionality grows us and makes us more proactive. Important qualities for everyone, especially leaders. He also says, giving changes the world, one person at a time. And he asks this question: what would the world be like if everyone tried to give more than he or she took? What would it be like? That's a good question. What would the world be like if everyone tried to give more than he or she took? And he said here, it's difficult for a healthy person to keep receiving from others without giving something back. Out of abundance comes generosity. Give generously to others without the hope of return, and the person receiving is changed and wants to pass it on. So he says, once you have the mindset of giving, the more you receive, the more you want to give. It becomes a positive cycle. As it spreads, not only do individuals change, but so do communities. So think of this. If you're new to a building, you're new in your neighborhood, what can you do to give? Well, you can give a smile. You can, if you have elderly people that live on your floor, you can go and introduce yourselves and offer to, if they need something from the if you're going to the supermarket, you can go and ask if they need something, if you can pick up something for them from the supermarket. Or if you see a mom with a little child and carrying groceries, trying to get into the building, you can help them carry the groceries or open the door for them if their hands are full. That's a form of giving. Let's see. There's so many things you can do to give. But giving changes one person at a time. When people see that you are giving, they get infected with that desire to give as well. If you've ever seen, I don't know if you've seen this. Say there's a musician on the street playing really good music and nobody seems to be paying attention to him. But if you become the first person that goes and gives that person $1, you incite other people to do the same. I don't know if that's happened. I've seen that happen. Somebody goes and gives that person $1, and then somebody else goes and gives that person $1. Or if you're in New York City and you ride the subway system and you see somebody, I've seen like people who play instruments or break dance or tell jokes, and you give them something like $1, it infects everybody else on that subway car, and they do also do the same, even people who are in need. So giving changes the world one person at a time. And so John Maxwell asks these important key questions. What does this have to do with leadership? How do you respond to people who give? How do you respond to generous leaders? Don't their actions make you want to give back? Work harder, do your best. And he says, I know that's what they do for me. If you become a generous leader who always strives to give more than you receive, you will create a positive team and organization that others will always want to be a part of. Now think about this as part of your business. When you're in network marketing and MLMs, that is an industry of giving. Because there's always room at the top. There's no one person who's at the top and driving everybody else down. No, there's always room at the top. A lot of people think of network marketing as a pyramid scheme. And in reality, it's not. They talk about, there's somebody at the top and there's downlines, and people in the downlines have to work to sustain the person at the top. That's further from the truth. With the person who's at the top or the person who creates downlines, people in the downlines have the ability and the opportunity to make more than their upline. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but it can be done. So in essence, network marketing and MLMs are not pyramid schemes. It's a great industry. You do have to do a lot of work. And the more you give, the more you're going to receive. But you do have to work really hard to do so. I see a lot of successful leaders who have successful teams and they have successful downlines, and they they bring those people in with them, and they coach them, and they mentor them, and they give and give and give, and they celebrate the successes of their downlines. And that is the essence of giving. When you give and you give and you give, you will receive back thousandfold. So that's what he says here. If you become a generous leader who always strives to give more than you receive, you will create a positive team and organization that others will always want to be a part of. Now, okay, perhaps people who are in network marketing and they see it as a pyramid scheme, maybe they are dealing with leadership that is not giving more than that they receive. Okay, then maybe that's something that needs to be looked at. But network marketing in and of itself is not a pyramid scheme, especially when there are leaders, uplines who give more than they receive, and they create that positive team environment, and that creates a whole positive environment overall. Look at leaders like Ray Higdon and Jessica Higdon. They are prime examples of this. They run, they are part of a network marketing company, and they have a highly successful team, have highly successful downlines, and they don't look at them as people underneath them. They look at them as colleagues. They look at them as friends, and you see it in the energy that they provide. Ray Higdon and Jessica Higdon are examples of leaders who give more. They give more than they receive, and they have a positive team, and they have a highly energetic team. Other people you can look at is Diane Hochman, Lisa Grossman, and Curtis, I forgot his last name, Lisa Grossman. Who else? Eric Worre. And these are examples of leaders who give more than they receive, and they create positive organizations. John Maxwell, those are examples. Look those people up, and you'll see and see the environment that they create. They give more than they receive, and in essence, and as a result, they have thriving organizations. They have positive teams that are sharing and doing the same that they have established. So, 3 questions to ask before you can effectively give more, especially for 2015. The first one is, what have you been giving? So look back at your life and think about what you've been given. Even people from the least advantaged backgrounds have positive experiences to draw on. So even if you've had a really rough life, you've had some highlights that you can look back on and draw from and see how you can help others. It's like, remember that person I spoke to you about, Liz Murray, who she had a pretty rough life where she had parents who were addicts, and they were not essentially bad people, but because they were addicts, they were addicted to drugs and alcohol, they could not give Liz and her sister the life that they wanted to give her. But Liz was able to draw from that life experience, and she realized she didn't want that type of life. So she worked hard in school, and she made it into Harvard, and later went to Columbia, and now she is a motivational speaker and helps others get out of their dire experiences so they can have success in their lives. And her motto is, your potential is timeless. So she believes that everybody has extreme potential, and she helps and works with them so they can realize that potential. So what have you been given? Look back in your life and think about what you've been given. What do you have? Look within to discover what talents, skills, and passions that reside in you that you can pass along to others. So what do you have in you that you can pour into others? Of course, you have to pour into yourself first before you can pour into others, but this is entirely possible. And John Maxwell continues to say that you have worth. Others can benefit from your time and expertise. So look into yourself and think about what talents you have, what passions you have that you can pass on to others, that you can share to others. Ray Higdon has taught that whatever you know, whatever you can do that's helping you succeed, you must share. You can't take that knowledge and hoard it up all for yourself, because that is selfish. What you've learned that helps you succeed, that helps you grow your business, you must share with others. That is responsibility for you to give. And number 3 is, what can you do? And John Maxwell says here, chances are that there are things you can do for others right now. Look around you. What opportunities do you currently see to add value to others? And so there's a lot of things you can do. And I gave you some examples at the start. So 3 questions to think about. every day now in 2015 so that you can start giving to others, which is, what have you been given? What do you have? And what can you do? So here you go. Making the decision now to create this good habit of giving can shape your days in a positive way in 2015. So think about that. You've been given a lot. You've been given a brand new year. Every day you wake up is a gift. So you need to be very thankful for that, for every day, for life being a gift. You also need to be thankful for the gift of challenge, because what does the gift of challenge? The challenges that you face every day is a gift because it forces you to think out of the box, to become resourceful, and to grow. So make 2015 your best year gift. Think about how you can give, because you've been given a lot. Give more than you can receive. Challenge yourself to think out of the box and be resourceful. Just to recap for this week, we spoke about the qualities of coach. The qualities of a coach is to work alongside a person, to be able to correct in a loving way that doesn't criticize and affect the person negatively. And the value and the greatest gift that a coach can give is the gift of perspective. And look at this, a coach is always giving. The gift of perspective, where a coach can see how a person is living, how the person thinks, and can put himself in that person's shoes and see the perspective of that person, but also see an overall perspective and see where that person is going and coach alongside that person so that person can be the best he can be. That is what a coach does. And in this year of 2015, where you're working on how you can give more and give more than you can receive, think about how you can be a coach to others. And by helping them, by seeing the overall perspective, seeing where they're going and coaching them along the way so they can be the very best they can be. We also spoke about the value of the handwritten letter, where you doing a handwritten letter shows intention. It's a form of giving, and it's a form of encouragement to others. So see how you can write more handwritten letters in this year of 2015. It forces you to think out of the box. It forces you to give more than you can receive, and that is going to affect your leadership in just a better way. And today, thinking about good habits you can create for the year of 2015 of giving more than you receive. So that is your mindset moment for this year, starting off 2015 right. Now, here's a little bit of the business sense moment. I found a great article by entrepreneur.com, and it's 5 essential ingredients to doing what you love for a living. And let me read them to you. There are 5 essential ingredients. And the first ingredient is to treat goals like recipes. Remember to take it one step at a time. And mind you, the person who wrote this article, she worked in corporate years before she decided to pursue her passion in the culinary arts. Her name is Aleah Lee Kong. And I'll leave the link to this article in the description below. So she said here, doing something you love will make you work harder at it. But that alone doesn't mean you have a good business. So she says, hard work ultimately has to meet with the right opportunities, and that's where the entrepreneurial spirit can come in, allowing passion to meet real business sense. So here are 5 ingredients to doing what you love for a living. And the first thing is to treat goals like recipes. Remember to take it one step at a time. So she says here that when you segment your goals and you have a clear vision, that has allowed her to stay calm and focused on the process. Okay, so when you know ultimately what you want to do, know what you ultimately want to do and how you want to do it. When you have clear steps, then it makes the process easier to follow. Okay, and remember to take it one step at a time. When your goals are vague, that means that you don't know where to start and where to end. So it's important to have a specific set of goals in mind and to take it one step at a time. The second thing you need to do is to get to know people who came before you. So she's a chef. She wants to know people who came before her. And when she changed her career, she studied starred chefs like John Georges and Thomas Keller, and people with successful food and lifestyle brands like Martha Stewart and Giada De Laurentiis. So study people who came before you, so you can see how they came to success. You can see their challenges they faced along the way. So you can learn from their experiences. It's like those, it's like to listen to leaders who came before you and learn from their experiences. Like when I spoke about the mastermind I attended, the mastermind that I attended in Las Vegas about 2 weeks ago with a leader, and studying leaders who came before me, studying entrepreneurs and leaders who are in this industry and are highly successful. I've studied them and I continue to study them. I studied their successes and their mistakes they made along the way, and I've learned from their experiences and I apply to my own. So get to know the people who came before you is the second essential ingredient to doing what you love. Always have something to offer, and that comes with giving more than you receive. So what Aaliyah Lee Kong says, that she travels a lot. When she travels, she likes to shadow cooks in professional or home kitchens to learn their techniques and dishes. So that is amazing. She will work alongside chefs, giving her time. And in essence, she learns from others so she can apply to her own experience and grow as a chef. And you can always do the same. If you're working alongside leaders or uplines, offer to work their events, doing little things as helping people register or helping usher people to their seats. And doing so, you learn from the leader. It's like tipping the hand of a king, and they will share with you their best secrets. My mentor and coach, Diane Hopeman, talks about experience where she helped one of her mentors learn a little bit of how to operate on the internet. And this guy had many years of experience. He was a great leader, but he was brand new to the internet and working online thing. And people would ask Diane, well, why are you doing that? He's really old. Why are you helping him? And she helped that person because she wanted to learn from this mentor, from this coach, because he had a lot of experience and she wanted to learn from his experience. So that's why she offered to help him learn how to work online, and in turn he shared a lot of his experience with her, and that experience that she has, she's now sharing with us today. So always have something to offer. Let's see, I'm just looking at my notes here. Number 4, the fourth ingredient: seek help from those who do it better than you can. And what the author says here, use your network and resources thoughtfully. If you don't have a skill, you likely know someone who does. And she gave us an example here. For example, I wanted to photograph the recipes for my book myself, but I wasn't a pro food photographer. I bought a great camera, reached out to a talented photographer and friend who was willing to teach me, and prepared myself for a trial and error. So that's an example to how you can seek help from those who do it better than you can. You can, in our industry of network marketing, you can do something like running a webinar and then go out and seek the help of an industry leader and say, okay, I did this webinar like so, I did A, B, and C, and this is the result I got, D, E, and F. What do you think? And what are your thoughts? And so this leader says, okay, it's good that you did this webinar A, B, and C, and you got these results, D, E, and F. My suggestion would be try this for next time, or tweak this here and tweak this there. So that shows that you are willing to do the work, and then you seek the advice of leaders. Don't be like going and seek the advice of leaders and then saying, well, what if this happened? And I don't know about this and I don't know about that. That is going to turn a leader off. When a leader sees that you are forging ahead and going ahead and doing something and trying something out and then going to them and seeking their advice because you've already done something, that shows that you are willing to work hard and not to sit back and just whine and complain. So do something first and then seek the advice of a leader, and they will help you grow. And number 5, prepare to be uncomfortable, both physically and mentally. Now, when you're trying something new, when you're pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, and when you're going and pursuing what you love, you're going to get into uncomfortable spots because it's a process of growth. You are doing something that you've never done before, and it's not going to be easy. It's simple, but it's never easy. Doing what you love is simple, but never easy, because it requires a growth process. So you need to be prepared to get uncomfortable physically and mentally. So the example that the author, Aaliyah Lee Kong, says here is that she wasn't entirely, she says some of the greatest lessons and most gratifying experiences that she's had came from times when she wasn't entirely comfortable with what she was doing. And she says she's not just talking about having to live 80-pound vats of stock in some of the kitchens where she worked. She says when she signed on to write her first cookbook, she was pregnant and working full time. So she had to write, cook, test, and photograph her entire book. And she said that idea terrified her. And there were days when she was so exhausted it was hard to get off the couch. But she did it. And the book is done, and it'll be out this year. So when you're pushed, you push back. Rise to the occasion, because success might be waiting around the corner for you. So that is her experience. That is her example of being uncomfortable. Doing these webinars, these webinars that I do it at 6 a.m. in the morning, Eastern time. Now that is really uncomfortable for me, but I continue to do it. There are days that I have not been able to get out of bed, but I get out of bed and I do it anyway. And there are days that I've overslept and I've missed it. I do it either at a later time, or I just reflect and say, okay, I missed today, but I get back tomorrow, I get up again and I do it. I keep on doing it. So working yourself, even when you're uncomfortable, helps you grow. In fact, you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So think about that for this brand new year of 2015. Think about the good habits that you can develop. Do it in baby steps, and be prepared to give more than you receive. And I guarantee you this year, 2015, will be your best year yet. Look at the time. So on this second day of 2015, on this Friday, I want to wish you a happy Friday and a spectacular weekend, getting ready to make this year your best year yet. Thank you for stopping by on Rise and Shine, Ready or Not, Let's Do This. I guarantee you that as each day goes, little baby steps that I take, this hangout is going to be better and better each and every day. Thank you for stopping by. This is Mina coming to you from New York City. Have an awesome day, folks. See you Monday. Cheers.